And welcome back to Liz's Plastic Models. Today we're going to go through steps 4 through 7 on the Tamiya A34 Comet. Also, this episode will be featuring a special vocal cameo from Pepper the Cat towards the end. Alright, we have all the torsion bars on, or bird wheel arms, whatever you want to call them. Like I said again, they're technically not torsion bars, but they're all on. They have been leveled against the table. Not there's really not much play in there, but it never hurts just to make sure that they're in line. So now we are on to step 4, which involves putting the outside parts of the hull on. And that is sprue, I believe it's C. Sprue on which we have those, the fenders, and the majority of the turret pieces. But for right now, all we need is parts 9 and 10. Also note, make sure not to cut this little tab off here when you're cleaning up the connection points, because that is not one of them. I've made many a mistake like that. I am not perfect, and I never have and never will claim to be. I don't think I've ever built a kit where I haven't broken or damaged at least one part in some stupid way because I didn't read the directions properly. Or thought, oh, I know better. I'm only human. Okay, we have these cleaned up now. Also, before I make a mistake and glue things, I need to read the directions. On this step, there are I mentioned there are 2 poly caps in this kit. They go into these little recesses here on where the drive sprockets will go. They go on there before this plate goes on there. If you glue the plate on, you either need to pull the plate off, or you need to just glue the drive sprockets on so they're not in any way movable. Okay, so we'll start with this side. Doesn't really matter which side, just pick a side and start. So this goes in there. Set that out of the way here. And this will go over that like so. There should be an alignment up here and alignment in the back. And it does fit, so we will apply cement. Start in those locations, and we'll go, and of course across. All right. Aligned. and that plate is in place, and we have a poly cap in there, so that way when we go to attach the drive sprocket, it is removable, which will assist greatly when we're trying to do the link and length tracks. Okay, the other side. Poly cap. In on the other side. That's going to sit up there. Check the fits. Should fit the same as the first. And it does. And we'll do the same thing. We'll glue up here on these little things here, the little ribs or whatever you would like to call them. All right, that is step 4. On step 5, we add 2 pieces to each side that help hold the idlers. I believe they're like the external part of the mounting for the idler mounts. And then we also add the lower front plate. Sprue C, I need sprue D. We'll actually do the front plate first here. I don't think it matters. We'll do the front plate first. Ready. This one, yes, get that ready for next. Okay, so we'll clean this up. Clean little sprue gates off there. And this will fit on there like so. Appears to be some welds. I don't know how well it's going to show up here, but there's some weld seam across the bottom of this front plate. It's worth pointing out. All right, it is time to add more parts here. We're now adding D53 and D54, which are parts relating to the mounting of the idlers. They are not interchangeable, so you need to make sure which one goes on which side and make sure you know which one you're cutting off and dealing with. And we'll do 53 first. This shows 53 on the right side. Flange goes towards the front. It'll fit on there like that. Then with the little sprocket-like portion of it to the back, they're keyed, so the direction is a slight ejection pin mark on there, which sits flush. Right, then we'll put some glue on that and put it on there. before I knock that over, put the lid on it. All right, D54 is the other side. These both have several ejector pin marks on the backs of them. So I'm going to clean them up so that they sit flat. Okay. And these also are indexed with different pin locations too, little locating pins, so they cannot be mixed up. And we'll put that on there, like so. There it snaps down. And these go over right there and there, like so. And then there'll be a little piece on there to mount the idler on. All right, we are on to step 6. If I can turn the page here. To this, we add two of A40, which are the mounting studs for the idler wheels, mounting the things that go in there, the little pegs that go in there. They are interchangeable. Being that these won't be, the ends of these won't be seen, we can, because they're clipped on the ends there, we can be a little bit more crude with the cleanup on these. The long end goes in, so I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup on the short end, but nobody's going to see the long end. Okay. Fits in there like that. These both have D-shaped locating things that will align the angle, and you'll see they face, they're kind of pointed generally like roughly at a 40, no, a little more than a 45-degree angle there, but there's the other one. So I'm just knocking everything around here. Okay, clean that one up. They're keyed on the same location. I'll show in just a moment here. They are keyed, I don't know how well that shows up on camera, but they are keyed on the same location. That's roughly a D shape with a flat on this side. They key into the locators on here, which likewise have like a D shape, but they are opposite, so that's why they will sit at the same angle. Maybe, possibly. Yep, there we go. Tight fit there. Then we have the glacis plates, which is B23. Find out where it is. It is on this sprue. We're really pushing through this. I believe that's, yes, 23. As a bonus, lots of very uninterrupted straight stretches of sprue there, so that'll be nice antenna material, or for little handrails or whatever. I like collecting pieces like that to, you know, to do the lighter method to string them out. They're useful for antennas and making antennas and little grab handles and those kinds of things. So I always make sure I stock up whenever I see some nice pieces of sprue that are good for that. Actually quite a nice fit there. Would do well if there was a slight, like, something to keep it from flexing, but oh well. Just don't beat on it with a hammer. Across the fronts. Seal that up. And as you can see, it's coming along quite nicely here. That brings us to step 7, which involves the front plate, the driver's visibility hatch, a couple of lifting eyes, and the co-driver's BESA machine gun. So first off, we need B2. Call out on the instructions as to where these tabs need removed. Differentiate the sprue attachment points from like pieces like that that aren't supposed to be removed, as opposed to pieces like that that are actually part of the sprue gates, the sprue connection points. I've been there and done that before. Cut the wrong thing off. See a little extemporaneous piece of plastic, and you think, oh, that's just a piece of the sprue that needs to go. Nope, it's something that's supposed to be there. Sometimes more important than others, but nevertheless, it's gone. And what do you do now? Do you ignore it? No, you can't do that because even though no one else is going to notice, you know it's gone, so it's going to bother you. At least that's how I am. One location on the bottom. And after I throw it onto the table, we'll dry fit it here. And it mounts. Yep, it mounts there. Right, too far back. Could you stay? It doesn't quite fit. It fits. It doesn't quite fit at a 90-degree angle. There's a couple degrees. It's a couple degrees off vertical. And it lodges up against that little raised edge there. Anyway, throw it on the floor. Okay. So there's several parts in step 7. As I mentioned, the machine gun, the driver's visibility port, not the actual hatch, but just something you can open to see out of, and then a couple of lifting eyes. I think we'll do the lifting eyes first. Those are directional, so you don't need to worry about mixing them up. They are on sprue D, which is not this sprue, but it is this sprue. Okay. Set that out of the way there. Set this aside. Pull this aside. Up there. Just cut both those off. Looks to be pin marks on these. Something to set this on. Okay. That one goes on that side. Yeah. They also show 2 little dots there and 2 dots there. I assume that's pins go through there or something. Oh, literally holes there, so that something mounts into there. So you can use that to tell which side if you cut both of them off. Do them at the same time. Like I said, they're not interchangeable directionally. One is definitively a right hand, one is definitively a left hand, but nevertheless. Similar issue with an ejection pin on this. And we'll put that one on here. We'll test fit it first. Turn that on. Let's kind of put that together there. And then the tabs on the bottom of that will locate this, and it actually does mount at a roughly vertical angle there, so that's a little bit behind this little raised edge here. Okay, so we'll go on to the ball machine gun. I need technically I don't get to the second half. I need D62, which is this piece here, this one here. The other, there's two of these. One goes in the turret. This is the one that mounts in the hull down here. If I can get in there. I have these little things. I don't use them often. I think they're not really sharp enough, maybe because they just don't tend to cut well. So pulling the seam off the side of that. There's that. That goes into piece D52, which will elevate and depress. It calls for it not to be glued. I'm going to glue it in position because I don't like the idea that, I don't want it to wobble around. So, if you're not careful, you end up with an unpainted area if it moves around or something. So we're just going to glue it in a slightly elevated position. there's a small locating divot there. There is a small pin there that is for orienting. And then that will fit in there like that then, which will allow it to move. As I just take a moment to kind of play around with it here. I'm going to glue the machine gun on there, and we're going to let that dry before we mount it. Pin goes to side, the left, and the gun goes on there with the open side of the mount up. There's a little tab that'll go down, but you can see the, this is more focus, but you can see the open side of the barrel is up. We'll just set that to cure there for a moment. And we'll start gluing the driver's viewing portal cover out. That is D50 and D51, which would be those two pieces there. How well that's going to show up, but there's a nice soft kind of casting texture on that. It's not overly aggressive, but it's enough to suggest this is a cast piece on the prototype. There's even a little bit of detail on the inside, some kind of suggestion of like a little arm to pull it in or something. So this could be used open, although there's nothing to see through the hatch there. There's no like driver partial figure included, but this could be built with that hatch open. Likewise, it could also be built with the drivers and co-drivers and entry hatches open, but again, there's nothing to see, so we're not going to do that. As I figure out how I want to try to get that to mount together. There we go. I'm going to throw tiny parts into the carpet. Well, not super tiny, but definitely been there before, and will be again at some point. then that will go right in there, and the peas can be. And I have a friend here, Pepper the cat. Meow. Are you coming in? Are you coming in stirring trouble, huh? Meow. Yes, I love you too. Anyway, I'm going to glue this on here, and then I'm going to attend to Pepper. Do you want attention? Do you want attention? Somebody wants attention. We have that on there. We have this, the ball mount there, and I'm going to stop there for the moment. Okay. Now we're going to put the ball gun mount into the front plate. And like I said, this is meant to be movable, but for my purposes, I don't want it moving around, so I'm just going to glue it in place. The front plate for that D38. There's some minor injector pin marks on the back side of that. We're just cleaning that up so it sits flat. That will go over that like so. In theory, this is movable. Like I said, I don't really want it to be, so I'm going to glue it in position. I think I'm going to let it sit for now, though. I might paint the components separately. Because I'm thinking the machine gun might get in the way when I go to do this. And it'll make it kind of tricky to paint under it and stuff, so. But it looks like it can be posed there. And I'm actually seeing some seam lines on the machine gun that I forgot to clean up. Clean those up quick. New Pepper. Are you not going to let me get anything done? Are you? And that was steps 4 through 7 on the Tamiya Comet. There'll be more in probably a week or so. Thank you for watching, and like, subscribe, click the bell, all that stuff. Thank you very much, and have a good day.